Hi, this is Trey Passer, and welcome to my film series review, Volume 1 still. And again, for Volume 1, I'm reviewing the films in the Planet of the Apes series, and I'm up to the third movie in the series, okay, and that movie would be 1971's Escape from the Planet of the Apes. Okay, this movie, of course, came out in 1971, okay, and this stars Roddy McDowall, Kim Hunter, Bradford Dillman, Natalie Trudy, Eric Braeden, Ricardo Montalban, and William Wyndham as the president, and Sal Mineo. I'll explain as I go along. Okay, after the events of the second movie, which was Beneath the Planet of the Apes, they were kind of boxed in to a corner, dramatic, movie-wise, because at the end of the second movie, Taylor hit the Doomsday device and the Earth exploded. The Earth in the future was basically got nuked. So, they had to think of a way, because the second movie actually made money, so of course they wanted to make another movie, a sequel, but they had to think of a way to make a third movie, to make it viable. So they hit upon an idea of the Taylor's, the first ship that came in the first Planet of the Apes movies that sank in the water, in the ocean. Why not have Cornelius and Zera and a scientist, Professor Milo, salvage it and take off. So that's what's basic, and travel into space and travel back into time. Okay, and that was the premise of the third movie, Escape from the Planet of the Apes. Literally, escape from the Planet of the Apes. So actually, Cornelius, they explain it. Actually, the movie begins a great way with they see the helicopter sees the ship, Taylor's ship floating in the ocean, and they radio it, and then, of course they tow it back in, and of course they open it up to see what's in it, and they see three astronauts come out, and they assume that it's the astronauts that went up, okay, and they get out and land on the beach, and as soon as they take off their helmets, the shock of their lives, of course, it's apes, of course. So of course everybody's stunned, and the military takes them back to the military base, and they decide to put them in a zoo, okay, and they also notice that the apes changed out of their astronaut uniforms into their regular, ape society uniforms. Of course, they're stunned, and of course, they call in two doctors to observe them, zoologists, Bradford Dillman, who plays Dr. Lewis Dixon, and Natalie Trudy, who plays Dr. Stephanie Bratton. Okay, they call them in to look at the apes and observe them and try to test, and they actually go through a series of tests with them to see, how intelligent they are. But then, of course, we know, people that watch the movie, that these apes can talk, but they decide to keep quiet for the moment until after they do the test, until finally Zera can't take it anymore and she actually speaks. And of course, everybody's stunned that these apes are intelligent and that they can talk. Okay, so the president decides to have a commission that will look into this and see and question the apes and find out, where they're from and how did they come to be in their time. But of course, before that happens, a tragedy happens, and this is a spoiler. Okay, Dr. Milo, we find out a little bit from the discussion they have, that he's the brilliant scientist who's ahead of his time, who decides he's the one that actually helped salvage the rocket ship from the ocean and got it working so they could take off. Okay, but he gets killed by a gorilla who's in the next cage, who accidentally, well, not accidentally, but on purpose, basically strangles him to death. All right, and then, of course, then they go upon in front of the commission, and the commission basically asks them questions, and they're guarded with their answers. They tell them basically that they come from the future, but they don't tell them everything. They kind of hold back the part about Taylor and their part about ape society experimenting on humans and hunting them. They kind of hold back on that part. But of course, the apes, they answer the questions, and they actually charm the media, okay, and even some on the commission. They charm them with their intelligence and wit. And of course, they become big kind of some media celebrities. In fact, when they get treated to, they even go out. And the first part of this movie is like lighthearted. They become big celebrities. They get taken out onto town. They make speeches and they go visit different places and basically have a good time. And the first part of this movie is kind of lighthearted after the initial wave of Shock of the Apes, and after they talk to the commission and they're presented to the world, and they charm the people and they're treated like celebrities until Zera gets drunk, and she basically talking to a character named Dr. Haslam, who's the professor's a scientific expert, and he finds out, when Zira gets drunk, she kind of lets loose with her lips, and she basically starts explaining how apes in the future rule the planet, and how they experimented on humans and stuff, and how they hunted humans for sport, and humans were dumb, and apes were the ones that were running the society. And of course, he brings this news to the president, of course, and the president is, of course, stunned by this, of course, but the president is a politician in this movie. So even though Dr. Hassan is telling him basically, listen, the future of society, man's going to get dominated by apes. Okay, and actually, I forgot one other thing. They actually, after finding this information out, they question Cornelius and Zira, where they admit to some things, but not everything. And then they basically stick Zira with sodium pentothal to make her spill everything, and she spills everything, and I mean everything. And of course, at this time, they also know that she's pregnant. So Dr. Hassan suggests to the president that we have to kill this baby. We can't let them, procreate, because one day they're going to dominate man. Okay, and of course, the president, like I said, he's a politician, but he doesn't want to be ultimately responsible for it. So he kind of leaves it up to the commission, the commission, that presidential commission, to come to that decision, and he'll go by it. So basically, what the commission basically says, we're gonna terminate her pregnancy and make sure that they don't have any more babies. Okay, just to make sure this future where the apes dominate man don't come to pass. Okay, but of course, Cornelius is highly upset with the way they treated Zira and stuff, and they break out, and he accidentally kills somebody on the way out, an orderly, accidentally, not on purpose. And then basically they're on the run, for the rest of the movie, and I don't want to spoil the rest of it, because, like I said, after that turn, once Zira gets drunk and starts spilling everything about the future, the movie takes a dark turn. And this movie I really enjoy, especially the performances, like I said, by Kim Hunter and Roddy McDowall, because they're the only apes besides Milo, Dr. Milo, in the beginning, before he got killed. They're the only apes, so nobody else has to be made up as apes. So of course the budget for this movie, I think it was only like $2 million for this movie, and it made like 20, I think they said 28 million worldwide. Okay, so it was a very successful sequel, and it's a really good movie. Like I said, specifically for the performances by Kim Hunter and Roddy McDowall as Cornelius and Zira. They're really, really good in this movie. And Bradford, sorry, I had to make an edit there. The rest of the video kind of cut out with the audio, so I'm just refilming the last part of this. Anyway, what I was saying was Bradford Dillman and Natalie Trudie, I think that's her name, who was married to Arthur Jacobs, the producer of the Apes films. They give good performances in supporting roles as, the sympathetic zoologists, that, become friends with Cornelius and Zira. And then, of course, you have Eric Braeden, who plays Victor on The Young and the Restless, to this, he plays Dr. Haslam, the presidential scientific expert, who basically, is intrigued by these talking apes, and who eventually basically sees these apes as a threat to the future of mankind and wants them to be exterminated. And he's really good in his part. And this movie, like I said, the first part of it is a nice, and kind of like, after the initial shock of the apes, it's lighthearted and everything's going well, and then it takes that sharp turn, and it's really good. Like I said, Kim Hunter and Roddy McDowall, I think this is their third movie. The first movie, second. This is the third appearance. Roddy McDowall wasn't in the second movie because he was shooting a movie, so they had a substitute. But the characters, this is their Cornelius and Zira. This is their third appearance on film, and this is more their movie. Okay, and again, this movie, things get kind of turned on their head. Basically, where it was the first Planet of the Apes movie, Taylor was the odd man out on the planet full of apes, and then this one, Escape from the Planet of the Apes, Zira and Cornelius are the odd apes out on, in modern human society. Okay, so it kind of got to get flipped on its head. Although initially, as opposed to Taylor, they don't get treated horribly until, like I said, until they after the turn, you know, when the movie starts getting more darker. But anyway, this is a great sequel to a great inventive way they came up with to continue the Ape series. I like the idea they came up with, having them repair the ship and travel back in time and go to modern society. I thought that was a great twist. Okay, very intelligent twist on the movie and stuff. And then plus, like I said, it added bonus. They didn't have to have expensive sets, you know, because you only have 2 people made up as Apes, or 3 initially with Dr. Milo, and so it works out for them budget-wise. So. And then, like I said, plus the performances were good and the story was good. So definitely good. I would give this movie Escape from the Planet of the Apes. I would give it a 7.5. I enjoyed it. Like I said, mostly because of the performances, especially Nally Hunter's is really good as Zara. She's so strong and opinionated, and writing Dallas Cornelius is really great. And even, like I said, Eric Braeden is that initial skeptical scientist who basically comes to want to hunt the apes down. He's really good in his part as well. Okay. Anyway, like I said, 7.5. So I really enjoyed this movie. A great addition to the series. Now I don't want to spoil the ending, okay, but the way it ended leads to a sequel. And that movie I'll be reviewing next week. It'll be the 4th movie in the Ape series. And that movie would be Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. That's the next movie in the series that I'll be reviewing for next week on my film series. Okay, let me know what you think. You know, the Apes movies, of this Escape from the Planet of the Apes. Feel free to leave comments down below. This is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.